Happy Valentine's Day, everyone, from George Minhalka, director of My Bloody Valentine. And you're listening to WithoutYourHead.com. And keep your head on and watch our movie again.
All right, we are back, and we're joined by Butch Patrick, also known as Eddie Munster. I want to welcome you to Without Your Head.
How you doing?
Good, thanks. Yourself?
Doing all right this evening.
Cool. Let everybody know you can. You got the new book out, Eddie Munster, a.k.a. Butch Patrick, and you can get that off Munsters.com.
Munsters.com. We're in the Borders bookstores, and you can also get it from Amazon.
Right, but if you get off the Munsters.com, you get some bonus material. You get like an autograph, I believe.
Yeah, that's true. That is correct.
Mm-hmm. Why did you decide to write the book?
Well, I've been around Hollywood for about 50 years, and I ran into my author, Helen Darris, a few years ago. Had always been looking for the right person to spend, some time, because it takes a lot of effort to go over your entire life and have it put into into text form. So mainly because I ran into Helen and she was so thorough in her research, that's why I decided to do it.
Excellent. Were you happy how it turned out? Yeah,
I'm very happy how it turned out.
Mm-hmm. Now, the original Munsters is only on 2 seasons. Are you surprised that it's everyone still remembers it so fondly, and it's like so many different generations enjoy it?
Yeah, it's endured very well. I go out and occasionally do some autograph shows or some collectible shows and meet the fans, and it never ceases to amaze me of how how it's endured so well.
Mm-hmm. Do you prefer the look in black and white or in color like the movies were?
I preferred the black and white genre. I think because the Universal Studios had done all the famous monster movies, Dracula, the Wolfman, the Creature, the Mummy, Frankenstein, all the major monster groups, so to speak, were done in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
I think that genre worked very well for the Munsters.
Yeah. Was there actually any backlash from any of like the Universal horror people that you were like making like a sitcom about them?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite understand the question.
Like anybody that was in the original ones, like in the original Dracula or Frankenstein, was there any backlash, like any of those people, like maybe that you were kind of making a parody of them?
No, not at all.
Right. You never know. Do you think they could remake it today? Not necessarily with like Frankenstein and stuff, but maybe with Jason and a Freddy.
I suppose anything's possible,
Right. You guys have a question from the message board? John?
Yeah, actually, Johnny Deform, he wants to know what it was like working with the Simpsons.
Oh, that was fun. That was a good time. I'm a big Simpsons fan, and when they called and asked me to be on the show, I was quite honored. They've got a list of alumni, of people who've been on the show that's pretty extensive, so I was a happy little camper.
Have you ever had any contact with Happy Durman, who played Eddie in the pilot?
Never had the pleasure of speaking with Mr. Durman.
Mm-hmm. So you know if there's any ill will with him and you, or
I can't see how there'd be any ill will. It was a long time ago, and he had first dibs and blew it.
Yeah. Did they purposely tell you to play the role differently than the way he did?
They just, the director of that particular day, when I went in for my screen test, just asked me to just be myself, and that's what I did.
Mm-hmm. Was it as fun to work with Al Lewis and Fred Gwynn as it looked?
Yeah, they were a fun team, good guys. Enjoyed sports. Enjoyed, the kid factor wasn't a problem for them. They were very nice and very easy to get along with.
Mm-hmm. Since you were like pretty young when the show ended, was it like hard for you to stop seeing those guys?
No, Hollywood is an interesting place because what you do is you work very closely in close confines with people for short periods of time, and then you go on and sometimes you never see them again.
Mm-hmm. Were you like proud of like when to see him get like kind of like near the end of his career to like get some big movie roles again?
Did I?
Yeah.
Or what?
Were you like happy for him?
For Fred?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Fred's a great guy. Yeah, so he always worked. He never had a problem working. He did a lot of theater. He did a lot of illustrating in books. He did a lot of voiceover work. He was always very busy.
Mm-hmm. I got to ask if you still keep in contact with Bob Burns and if he still has the gorilla costume.
I suppose he still has the gorilla costume because he specializes in that, but I haven't seen Bob since. I only saw him that one time, and that was 40-some-odd years ago.
Oh, really? I'm a big fan of Bob Burns and the.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Basement. Yeah. Do you keep a collection of anything from the show?
No, I didn't collect anything. Well, I had a few monster masks. I suppose that would be considered somewhat of a collection.
Right. Troy, do you have a question from the board?
Actually, I think.
Yeah, I got one here. Jay Huddy, he wants to know, did you receive any other like offers to do any other type of like horror movies after the Munsters was over?
Not horror movies. I just went over to Walt Disney Studios and did Disney movies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why weren't you in like I think it was the second movie, in the second Munsters movie?
Well, because Eddie was playing Eddie, and I was about 27 years old.
Right. They didn't want to do it like yeah. Was there ever any talks of doing all you got, like getting you guys all back together for a like to play Eddie again when he is grown up?
Well, there's always talk around Hollywood about doing stuff, and projects are floating around in the air all the time. Nothing ever became of anything, but there's always talk. It's just it's being finalized is the problem.
Yeah. Do you have any current projects that are coming out?
Well, none that I can actually label at the moment. We've got there's one particular sitcom situation that some people are working on out in Hollywood as we speak, and it's kind of a whatever happened to Eddie situation. With weekly guest stars.
Mm-hmm. Were you a fan of the Universal Monster movies as a kid? Before you got the role?
Oh, yeah, I loved I was a big fan of all those monster movies and the models and everything else that came along with them.
Yeah. Do you think they should have brought in any other family members? I know they had like Uncle Gilbert on the show, was like the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Well, we had Uncle Lester was the Wolfman.
Right.
We had Uncle Gil, and who else could we brought in? I suppose we could have brought in the Mummy, but they didn't. But I was very happy with the content of the show.
Mm-hmm. Do you have another question from the board, John?
Actually, I just have a question myself. One of my favorite Munsters episodes was the one that you actually grew a beard on the episode.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Eddie's nickname.
Yeah. What exactly did they use to make that beard, or did it itch or anything like that?
Well, they use hair for the beard. That when it dissolves, they use cotton candy.
Mm-hmm.
Another little movie trick.
Yeah,
another little movie secret given up.
Oh man. Ardley here in the chat room, he wants to know how did you get your homework done? Were you like homeschooled? How was it like going to school and doing the show?
Tutored 3 hours a day on the set. I'd get a little bit of homework, not too much homework, because I had to worry about my scripts and this and that, and knowing my lines for the next day. So they were pretty easy on the homework thing. But no, there was 3 hours a day of schooling, and that had to be addressed every day, no matter what.
We get a call here. We got Astro on the line.
Hi. I'm calling to ask, what was your favorite episode of the Munsters?
I like Zombo.
Yeah.
Zombo with Louie Nye. It was a good show. It was a good episode where I don't know if you're familiar with that episode, but I won a TV show, to go visit Zombo, my hero, and found out that he was a regular guy. I thought he was
remember that one.
Okay.
Baron here, he wants to know what was it like to work with Paul Lynde.
Paul Lynde, Dr. Dudley, he was great. He was very funny, and I like the episodes that he was in were some of my favorites.
Oh yeah. Now, was the show like? Could you feel like the show was rediscovered like years later, or was it just always, even after it was like canceled right away, people still loved it?
It came on. Let me see. It was canceled in '66, and then they started syndication. I think about '71 or '72. So you had maybe a 5-year gap, but it was always very popular.
Mm-hmm. Was there ever a point where like you got just tired of people talking about the Munsters?
Yeah, when I was in my teen years, up until the time I was about 30. Mm-hmm. So from 1969 to 1983.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You said you don't collect anything, so you don't have a Woof Woof?
Woof Woof dolls in Phoenix at my partner's house, and we've sold 84 of them over the last 20 years to collectors throughout the country. So there's a few of them floating around out there.
Mm. Is that like the most requested thing from you? Is a Woof Woof?
Well, that's probably the most requested thing. It's just they're fairly pricey. They're $1,400.
Right. Just what would be your favorite moment just working on the show?
Well, I always enjoyed when we would drive the cars. Whenever the cars were involved in the show, that was always a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I saw. Yeah.
Well, we would be outside, which was always nice.
Right. I saw on your website on Munsters.com that you actually have a picture on there with is that the car you actually have now? The Munsters
the 57?
Car? Yeah.
No, the 57. I had that when I was living in Florida about 17 years ago, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Did you actually drive it around?
It was used mostly just for promotional purposes.
Yeah. Was there anything else from the message board, John?
We had one question, but I think we pretty much already been over it, and that was Johnny Deform.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gary wants to know, did Sugarloaf provide the backing track for your single?
Yes, they did.
Okay. Well, everybody know you can check out Munsters.com, and you get the book. You want to tell everybody, why should they pick up the book? Eddie Munster and Butch Patrick.
A lot of good reading, a lot of good stories, all the questions you've ever wanted to know, and I did a lot of other episodes of other shows that people aren't aware of. So there's good interesting stuff about a lot of other shows, maybe as many as 50 different shows other than the Munsters.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All right, gentlemen?
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on tonight.
No problem. Have a great one, and thanks again.
Thanks. Can we keep you here just for 1 second?
Sure will.
This is Tom Tolles. You're listening to WithoutYourHead.com, and you're doing it without your head. Think about it. Oh, wait, you can't. You don't have a head. Oh, man, I went too